What if I told you that the serpent in Genesis wasn't actually a serpent? Get ready to question everything you thought you knew about the tale of Adam and Eve, because what you're about to discover will change your perspective forever. The story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden is one of the most well-known and influential narratives in the Bible. At its core lies the cunning serpent that tempts Eve to eat the forbidden fruit, leading to humanity's fall from grace. But what if our understanding of this serpent has been mistaken all along? What if there's a deeper, more profound meaning hidden in this ancient text? Traditionally, we've seen the serpent as a deceiver, a tempter, and the ultimate villain. But what if this iconic figure is far more complex than we've ever imagined? The book of Genesis has shaped religious thought for millennia. At its heart lies the tale of Adam and Eve, a narrative that explores themes of innocence, disobedience, and the human condition. To truly grasp the significance of this story, we must understand the characters within it, especially the enigmatic serpent. To uncover the truth, we need to examine the original Hebrew text of Genesis. In Genesis 3:1, the serpent is introduced with the Hebrew word nahash. While most English Bibles translate this as serpent or snake, Hebrew is a nuanced language with layers of meaning. Nahash doesn't just mean serpent. In some contexts, it can refer to a diviner or one who practices enchantment. This dual meaning opens up a fascinating possibility. Instead of a mere snake, nahash could imply a being with supernatural knowledge or powers. For centuries, scholars have debated the true nature of this serpent. Some argue that nahash should be understood metaphorically, representing a force of chaos or a rebellious divine being. Others suggest it wasn't a literal snake at all, but a symbolic figure, possibly even a fallen angel or a manifestation of Satan. This linguistic insight challenges our traditional understanding of the Eden story. It suggests that the serpent might have been far more than just a crafty animal. Instead, we could be dealing with a powerful spiritual entity, one capable of engaging in complex dialogue and possessing knowledge beyond that of earthly creatures. Number 1, the serpent as a divine being. Some scholars propose a radical reinterpretation of the serpent, a divine or semi-divine being possessing wisdom beyond human comprehension. This perspective shifts our understanding of the serpent from a mere deceiver to a complex figure with a potentially benevolent role. Rather than being a force of evil, this interpretation suggests the serpent facilitated humanity's journey towards self-awareness. By tempting Adam and Eve to eat the forbidden fruit, the serpent might have been a catalyst for human growth and knowledge. This view aligns with ancient Near Eastern mythologies, where serpents often symbolized wisdom, immortality, and even divinity. For instance, the Mesopotamian god Ninshubur, associated with vegetation and the underworld, was often depicted with serpentine features. Similarly, in Egyptian mythology, the cobra symbolized protection, power, and royalty. By considering the serpent in Genesis through this lens, we open up new possibilities for understanding the narrative. Perhaps the serpent wasn't a villain, but a complex figure caught in a cosmic drama with far-reaching consequences for humanity. Number 2, the serpent as a symbol of chaos. In many ancient cultures, serpents were associated with chaos and disorder. Could the serpent in Genesis represent these disruptive forces challenging the divine order? The serpent's role in leading Adam and Eve to disobey God introduced chaos into the previously harmonious existence in the Garden of Eden. This aligns with the serpent's symbolism in other mythologies. For instance, in Babylonian mythology, Tiamat, the primordial sea monster, often depicted as a serpent, represents the chaotic forces opposed by the creation god Marduk. Similarly, in Norse mythology, the Midgard serpent embodies the primal chaos threatening the orderly world. By viewing the serpent as a symbol of chaos, we can understand its role as a catalyst for change and the introduction of complexity into the human experience. The The serpent's actions challenge the notion of a perfect, unchanging world, forcing humanity to confront its own mortality and limitations. Number 3, the serpent as a metaphorical figure. Another interpretation sees the serpent not as a literal creature, but as a metaphorical representation of the inner conflict between obedience to God and the pursuit of knowledge. This perspective emphasizes the psychological and philosophical dimensions of the story. The serpent can be viewed as a symbol of human curiosity and the desire for self-determination. By tempting Eve, the serpent embodies the internal struggle we all face, the choice between adhering to established rules and exploring the unknown. This interpretation aligns with various philosophical traditions that explore the theme of forbidden knowledge. Think of the Greek myth of Prometheus, who defied the gods to bring fire, knowledge, to humanity. Similarly, the serpent in Genesis can be seen as a catalyst for human growth, challenging the established order and pushing humanity towards a new level of consciousness. By understanding the serpent as a metaphorical figure, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexities of the human experience and the eternal struggle between obedience and curiosity. Theological implications of the serpent's identity. The various interpretations of the serpent as a divine being, a symbol of chaos, or a metaphor for human psychology carry profound theological implications. If the serpent is viewed as a divine or semi-divine being, it raises questions about the nature of good and evil and the complexity of the divine order. Did the serpent possess a genuine desire to help humanity, or was its actions part of a larger cosmic plan? This interpretation challenges the traditional dualistic view of good versus evil and invites us to consider a more nuanced understanding of divine intentions. Similarly, interpreting the serpent as a symbol of chaos forces us to confront the presence of disorder within the divine creation. It raises questions about the origin of evil and the nature of free will. If chaos is an inherent part of the universe, how does this impact our understanding of God's sovereignty and humanity's place within the divine plan? Finally, viewing the serpent as a metaphor for the human psyche invites us to explore the nature of temptation and the human condition. It raises questions about the relationship between knowledge and morality and the consequences of seeking forbidden knowledge. This interpretation aligns with the broader philosophical and theological exploration of the human experience. Ultimately, the interpretation of the serpent's identity has far-reaching implications for our understanding of the biblical narrative and its theological significance. By examining the various perspectives, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the complexity and richness of the story. By peeling back the layers of tradition and exploring the depths of the original text, we've uncovered a far more complex and intriguing figure than the simple deceiver we've come to know. The serpent, whether a divine being, a symbol of chaos, or a metaphor for the human psyche, invites us to question our assumptions and expand our understanding of this ancient story. This new perspective enriches our faith by encouraging us to approach the Bible with curiosity and an open mind. It's a reminder that these ancient texts are filled with layers of meaning waiting to be uncovered. Join us on our journey to explore other biblical mysteries. Subscribe, like, and share to be part of the conversation.